the top office, which is wrong. We can talk about free education, we can talk about building, we can talk about infrastructure, we can talk about anything, but for as long as we are divided, we do not have a country to call country again. 2021, why we were able to remove a government is because the whole country came together. There was no one who spoke of a tongue. There was no one who said, I am Muluvale, I am Kaonde, I am Lozi, I am Bemba, I am Tonga, I'm not going to vote for HH. The country said we need change, and we went there to vote, and we brought the change we wanted. But is this the change that he promised us? No, it's not. We made that mistake, and we ought not to make this mistake yet again. Because it will not be mistake now. When we do this, it will be stupidity as a country, because we don't know what we want. Then we don't know. We are no longer patriots at the end of it all. So we don't need to make this mistake again. I am calling out my southern province. No one will beat you anywhere. I was very saddened. 3 days ago, I was talking to my cousin. I called my cousin. I was like, brother, mbutogo, mwenye deputy change. Mama, mudala usebo gunotao. Kambo kuti twatwandabe againda akale mu office kambo mudala gumwa twakatala. That man has never traveled. I know my cousin has never left Monze to go to Lusaka. He has never traveled to any part of the country. But he believes, because the president said Tongas are being beaten in Lusaka, and he has believed that message. And that is what he's going to carry to go there to vote. Because he doesn't want Tongas to be beaten in Lusaka. Who beats Tongas in Lusaka? I am married to a Bemba wife. No, we are a happy family. We are okay. When we listen to what is happening out there, coming from the higher office of the president, I think it is such a shame. So, let us go there to vote because we want our country to be better. Not because the Againde Hijirema has told us that no one beats you, and no one has ever beaten any Tonga because they are Tonga. No. Stop feeling sorry for yourselves for being Tonga. You are Tonga because you are Tonga. You are Lozi because you are Lozi. You are Nyanja or Ila, you are Ila, you are Kaonde because you are Kaonde. That is the language you know. That is the language. Be proud of that. I have never shamed. I never knew my tribe to say I am Tonga until 2021 and beyond. All I knew was I am Zambian. All along I have friends all over the country, everywhere. I never knew the difference between a Bemba and a Tonga. Let's change the pattern of voting. This time around, we don't want these things whereby we are the only ones who are left behind. The whole country is waving for change. You are clinging in for hatred. This time, this thing of 30,000 votes to 1, 30,000 votes to 4, that is total tribalism. Because it is no longer patriotism. It is clearly stating the fact that you are sticking to a particular candidate because they are coming from the area of your region. It is wrong. We need to vote because we want a better Zambia, not because our leader has told us that we will be beaten if we don't put him in office. Who beats you? Ask them who has beaten you. No one. Where were you beaten? No one. So I fight them. They can do what they want to do. But there will never be a time when I will fail to do what is needed because I am afraid. I drove here by myself. I parked my car next to the polling station. And if anybody wants to do me harm for what I've done, they are welcome to do it. But I will not be afraid. And I'm urging all of you in the NRUP, UP, and in the RP, monitors, to not be afraid. We have to protect our votes, no matter how many of us are going to pick up. We must be able to defend the democracy of this country. If others will be afraid, we most of all must be unafraid.
Mr. Lungu, we're coming to a close. What's your word to the Zambian out there who will be going to the polls?
I am saying my urge to the Zambian people, and I'm not only talking to the general Zambian people, I'm talking to people who are supporting my position. I'm talking to some of the people who are not supporting my position, but can see the honesty by which I am expressing this. I am talking to those of you who are undecided. This election is no longer about an individual who wants to get into power. It is about an individual who is in power, who has made our lives very difficult, even when he undertook to make them better. Okay? So I urge all of you to turn out If you want change, don't stay at home on Thursday. Get up, get on up, and tell your neighbor and your brother and your sister and your mother and every circle of you to get on up and go and vote. So I urge all of you to turn out. If you want change, don't stay at home on Thursday. Get up, get on up, and tell your neighbor and your brother and your sister and your mother and every circle of you to get on up and go and vote.
Note of these particular activities, even as they slowly assemble their report. We do not expect the international community and cooperating partners to come and express an opinion only over the events of one day, ignoring weeks that transpired, especially in the observers and diplomatic missions to document these incidents, seek clarifications from the relevant authorities, and speak clearly whenever the fundamental freedoms required for a credible election appear threatened. Zambia has spent decades building a reputation as one of Africa's peaceful democracies. We have changed governments democratically and peacefully before. We must not allow that proud inheritance to be damaged. Silence in the face of credible allegations of intimidation does not strengthen democracy. Independent scrutiny does. Our appeal to the church. I also appeal to the church. We acknowledge and thank Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops and other Christian bodies who have spoken clearly about political violence, intimidation, and the need for peaceful elections. The Catholic bishops have reminded political parties will come and go. Presidents will come and go. But the church must always stand for justice, peace, human dignity, and truth. If somebody is unjustly detained, we must speak. If somebody is assaulted because of their politics, we must speak. If the rights of citizens are threatened, we must speak. Not because those citizens belong to NRP-UP, UPND, or any other political party, but because they are Zambians. Our appeal to civil society. I similarly appeal to civil society organizations, human rights defenders, women organizations, lawyers, bodies and media organizations, and elections monitoring organizations. The defense of democracy cannot be selective. Where women are detained in questionable circumstances, organizations established to protect the rights and dignity of women should ask questions. Where journalists, bloggers, media personnel are arrested, media organizations should ask questions. Where political activists disappear, human rights organizations should ask questions. And where electoral participants are intimidated, election monitoring organizations must document it. You do not have to support Brian Mundubile. You do not have to support Makebi Zulu. You do not have to support NRP-UP. You only have to support Zambia and the rule of law. And to the people of Zambia, finally, I speak directly to the people of Zambia. Do not be afraid. Whatever your political choice may be, exercise.
Indeed, do not be afraid. I don't know what happened. We are hosting a young man, Daliso Zulu, who was picked up by, he claims, literally over 100 officers. They were in various vehicles, including Kampiongo. They stormed a place called Palm Kalachi, just next to Woodlands Police Station, and surrounded the restaurant and picked Sebastian Copeland, Dr. Emmanuel Nkoma, and the young man Daliso Zulu. As he was winding up the debate, I just noticed that the network, not the network, the entire broadcast was just frozen. I don't know what happened. But quickly share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. I'll try to get some of the things he said, but you can see, we covered him sufficiently enough to understand what he was saying. They've been charged with offenses. Not charged. They are being investigated. But given police bond, well, he may not be a lawyer, he's a young man. He might not know what exactly has happened. But for them to give you police bond, that means, you've been given either a warning and caution or you've been arrested. But him and Dr. Sebastian Copeland have been released. But Dr. Emmanuel Nkoma, to his knowledge, is still at Richard Kachingwe police station, police post. For you colleagues in Lusaka, see if you can check up on Dr. Emmanuel Nkoma. Please check up on him. He's a leadership guru. He lives in Durban. I collaborated with him very well when I was ambassador in South Africa. His wife is a Reverend Nkoma. She's a very vibrant Reverend in Durban. And Dr. Nkoma has been in Lusaka for the last 3 months, and he's been part of the Tonse Pamosi Alliance. And they were yesterday, attacked in the manner they were attacked. And so share the broadcast. Is everything okay? Is the video okay? Is audio okay? Tell me, because there was just a major shutdown. And I broadcast on X, which is Twitter. I broadcast on YouTube. I broadcast on TikTok. I broadcast on Spotify. Then I'm on various Facebook pages. And there was just one major shutdown. We shall overcome whatever challenges there are. We are discussing the crackdown on the opposition. Quickly share with others that we are watching with us but have left. And also to alert others that we are live. We are discussing the crackdown and that the young man, Daliso Zulu, who was explaining the ordeal, how the over 100 police officers, in his estimation, there were about 100 police officers with various Land Cruisers, Nachikampiongo Chimo, and he says they swooped on that restaurant like a military unit. Yet they were just having a meal at a restaurant, and they were picked up and they were interrogated up to 02, and then they were thrown in various police cells. Dr. Sebastian Copeland, to his knowledge, was taken to Woodlands Police Station, and Dr. Emmanuel Nkoma to Kachingwe Police Station, and he was taken to Kawata Police Station, and he's bemoaning that when he arrived at Kawata Police Station, unknown people, it doesn't know if they are police or they are UPND, but they were given access to his cell where he was badly beaten, and he was explaining that ordeal. I'll try to get the video of his explanation, and also for his safety, we don't need to reconnect. And then remember, we had heard that that George Chisanga and our dear brother, the assistant to the president, Jafen Mwakalombe, were also among the people that were abducted. It has emerged the 3 that were abducted were separate from George Sanga. Listen to George Sanga explain his part, what happened when they were besieged by this shadowy group purporting to be a team of law enforcement agencies, and they were kept for hours at his law firm that is in Sunningdale. Just listen to George Sanga. And kindly share the broadcast. And in your comments, quickly tell me, because I want to go and read if the broadcast is okay, if the audio is okay. That way I can, be able to resolve whatever crisis there could be in the broadcast. So thank you very much. Let's hear to what George Sanga is saying before I come on.
And I know that those who put the rumor in perspective meant well, because really we are living at a time when you don't know who's going to be kidnapped or hijacked at what time. There's a story going around that I have been a victim of a kidnap, and so have been my colleagues, Mr. Dafen Makalombe, and the senior member, Mr. Sebastian Copeland, who, from the information I've just been given, is still in custody. I just want to correct the impression. We have not been kidnapped. My colleague, Jafen Mwakalombe, and myself, our senior member of the Tonse Pamosi Alliance, Mr. Miraka Kana, and Mr. Honorable Sensual Banda, were yesterday subjected to a gruesome operation by the joint operation of the DEC, the police, and I'm informed the Anti-Corruption Commission. we were kept incommunicado from about 11 hours to about 23 hours. What we were informed was that they were doing an operation at my premises of business. As the nation knows, I run a law practice, and this law practice sometimes avails a facility for members of Tonse Alliance to come and conduct some business. And I had allowed my colleagues to sit in our boardroom, as it were, to conduct the business. And the business that we were doing is connected with preparation for the election. We have now reached a very crucial time where we have to put all logistics in place to ensure that countrywide, all those who are going to be monitoring elections on behalf of the President, President Brian Mundubile and his Vice President, members of Parliament, mayors, councillors and chairpersons, we have agents who have been accredited and who have been appointed by the Tonse Pamoja Alliance countrywide to carry out that important function. As everybody knows, that function cannot be carried out without resources. So the good people that support the Tonse Alliance countrywide had responded to the query that we had made before to help us mobilize resources that are required to be utilized for the purposes of ensuring that our supporters and our agents who will be working in polling stations which are all around the country will have a little resource for them to be able to do that work. And this is a job that my colleagues who were found in my boardroom were carrying out. Unbeknown and without any instigation, we were informed that the DEC has come and they were conducting an operation at my premises. Now, I was possibly the target of that operation, and I had provisionally left the office to go and conduct some other work on behalf of the president. And the people that were found there were subjected to a rigorous search. And when I joined, I was also my officer, even my own staff to this stage, even if they have nothing to do with the Tonse Alliance business as we prepare for elections on 13th of August 2026. So my staff were violated, they were brutalized, they were searched, even when they shouldn't have been searched. My premises was turned upside down, as one would have expected when somebody is doing something that is, for lack of a better term, politically motivated. At about 23 hours, we were then informed by the joint operation team that they were going to go away with the money that they found on my colleagues who were doing this work. That is money that was contributed by well-wishers for the Tonse Pamoja Alliance, who would want to ensure that we undertake a process called vote protection. In fact, the whole exercise had to do with vote protection. Whatever questions the joint team asked my colleagues, it was answered effectively. We explained exactly what we were doing and what we intended to achieve with the exercise that we put in place. We even gave them documents that showed clearly how the money has been earmarked and what it's supposed to be utilized for. Unfortunately, in a country where politics permeates everything, we ended up losing that money in the hands of the DEC and the team that they came with, even when there was no criminality associated with that money. That money, like I said, most of it was intended to be utilized for logistics for people who are going to monitor elections. Our polling agents who have already been appointed and accredited. Part of it was supposed to help us to actually go to Choma and to go to Mazabuka and Livingstone to go and conduct the final legs of our rallies. All this money had been identified, and we told the DEC what we wanted to achieve with that money. Unfortunately for us, they were unrelenting, and they collected that money. The intention clearly is to paralyze the Tonse Alliance in the work that they are doing. The next steps they're about to take now, from what they informed us, is that we are all supposed to present ourselves at the DEC at 14 hours today, possibly in the quest to have them formalize the arrest that they would like to carry out on us. So we just want to make an earnest call, to the political leadership of this nation. We have been campaigning even under the most difficult circumstances. Every source of our income that we wanted to utilize in the campaign has been blocked. Fortunately, Zambians responded wholeheartedly to the requests that were made by the leadership of the Tonse Pamoja Alliance, and we managed to mobilize the resources that were found in the hands of our colleagues. I know I'm speaking this in the midst of the so-called police investigation. I do not want to point the blame at the police, because possibly they're basically being utilized by the political interest in this nation. But I would like to point a finger of blame at those who would like to paralyze what the Tonse Pamoja Alliance is doing as they prepare themselves to participate in this election. That little resource that they found in our hands is a drop in the ocean compared to what other political parties are utilizing in conducting their political affairs, especially the campaigns and even preparation, for this election. We have seen on social media how much money is being flashed around by the UPN.
For team in Lusaka, I would like to urge you to check on Hector Skazwe, his former Director General of Intelligence. You remember that we lost a Director General of Intelligence in 2020 when Samuel Nkoma, when he died of COVID-related complications, and President Lungu appointed Hector Skazwe. He was in office until October, when President Hakainde Hichilema then removed him and his deputy and appointed Friday Nyambe, the current Director General of Police. So I've got a flurry of messages that are coming to my phone that I should inform you, especially the team that is in Lusaka, that you need to check up on Hector Skazwe, former Director General of Intelligence. We don't know what's happening. Maybe they've abducted him, maybe they've picked him up. Get in touch with his family, find out. For lawyers, quickly begin your work. There's latest information. Another victim of these abductions, Hector Skazwe, former Director of Intelligence. Someone has just dropped 2 people separately. I've dropped this in my inbox, that Ambassador, please see this. For you, dear audience, when I get the formal confirmation, I'll let you know, but this is what is developing. Someone has alerted me that Ambassador Mr. Hector Skazwe, former Director General of Intelligence, has been picked up. The same abductions that are going on. There are no call-outs, no nothing. People are picking you up and you don't know where you are going. Sometimes it's taking up to 48 hours to know where you are. So there is that matter of Hector Skazwe developing news that is being picked up, and the team in Lusaka must quickly check up on the former Director General of Intelligence, Hector Skazwe.
To hear the news of the happenings around Martha Lungu Mwitumwa. You may be interested to know that Martha Lungu Mwitumwa comes from Mpamba Chiefdom, and as a royal establishment, and indeed Chief Mpamba himself is concerned about what has happened to her. We come to address the nation on this matter, that if indeed Martha Mwitumwa has been purportedly abducted or arrested or indeed detained and in the authority or custody of the police, we want to appeal to the command to give us specific information of her whereabouts. Chief Mpamba wants to know where her niece is, together with her friend. We have tried to get in touch with the husband, who has indicated to His Royal Highness that he equally doesn't know the whereabouts of Martha Mwitumwa Lungu. Countrymen and women.
Okay. On behalf of the Finlay family, our family has published a statement on Belden Harry Finlay's Facebook page regarding the circumstances surrounding his detention. We wish to confirm that to the best of our knowledge, the events described in that statement are accurate. At this time, we have not been officially informed of his current whereabouts. We have not been granted access to him. We have not been provided with clear information regarding his continued detention. To the best of our knowledge, he has not been formally charged with any offense. We have not been permitted to provide him with his required medication, which is a matter of serious concern to our family. Serious concern. Our family respectfully appeals to the relevant authorities to urgently clarify Velden's whereabouts allow appropriate access to him, and ensure that he is able to receive any medication and care he requires. Above all, we appeal for this matter to be handled transparently and strictly in accordance with the law, with Velden's legal fundamental rights fully respected. We remain deeply concerned for his safety and well-being and respectfully request urgent clarification from the relevant authorities. Please, we thank everybody for the support, and please could you be with us in prayers for Velden.
He was not in the previous meeting. He had arrived at 9 o'clock for the National Management Committee meeting. His name was Frank Tayali, who was the National Youth Chairman for the UPND. That is how he seconded the motion, and the name of Hakainde Hichilema was now presented officially for consideration as Vice President. I want to apologize to the nation. I want to apologize to the UPND. I want to apologize to Southern Province. I want to apologize to the Westerners, my Mbuyes, and everybody else, for bringing you a man who should not have been in the first place at the expense of this man here. I want to apologize to you, Sakwiba Scotta, because it should have been you. My considerations were only financial, so that the party lives on. I didn't know that we would have this character of a person for the leadership of this beautiful country. Honorable Mundubile, the spirit of Anderson Mazoka is in you today. You have joined us. May the people of Southern Province understand what this means. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. President Hakainde Hichilema of the Republic of Zambia. My name is Katele Kalumba, and I'm speaking to you directly two days before Election Day. I'm thankful for everything you did to me, and I'm sure you should be thankful for everything I did to you. I'm not going to explain, those things. But what is happening now is not in the interest of our country. And I believe that you are at the helm of it. You are responsible as the President of the Republic of Zambia. You are responsible to protect the lives of every Zambian under the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia. I don't know what your job is if you cannot protect the lives of Zambians who are expressing a different opinion from you, who want to provide leadership different from you. I'm disappointed because I thought you were a good man. But what I've found out now is a man who was pretentious, a man who pretended to be a good man, and yet underneath there was a very evil person. A very evil person. So much is going on, abductions, deaths, and strangulations, whatever you can imagine. The worst scenario in a purportedly democratic country, just to win an election. until you are nowhere compared to your arch-rival, your nemesis, the dead Edgar Chagwa Lungu. You are worse than Edgar Chagwa Lungu. I was close to Edgar Chagwa Lungu at some point, as I was close to you. In fact, closer to him, I understand him better from the family level to the political level. But as a campaign strategist for you in 2015, which cost me my business, my family's business, I expected you to, I thought I was sacrificing for a gentleman, a civilized human being. But what I have come to learn is exactly what I was told you were accusing me of saying. Now I'm going to say it to your face. You believe in nothing else than Satanism. I was trying to defend you. I defended you when Ishe wanted to arrest you over Sun International Hotel. I knew much, and I still do. But I defended you. I made sure you got out of the trap, and nobody exactly knew what I was saying, except that I avoided implicating you. I knew what had happened in Cape Town. I knew what had happened to the agreement. I knew why Nawakwe did not sign it. I knew why we were pushing it so hard. Many consultants I've come to learn who ripped Zambia off. You're one of them. Don't let anybody say, no, they were just consultants. I understand the system. I understand every part of the governmental system. You don't. All you understand is that to make money for yourself and to kill. Because a president must stop his institutions from capturing citizens. Death in Mfumbwe, death in that place Kalimbila, and now abductions, arresting and incarcerating people who have never given charges. And you think you're a Democrat? And you think you know economics? You don't know anything about economics. Uncle Msokotwana struggled to try and guide you. You have failed to heed his counsel. Because you don't understand it. You are just a manager at Grant Thornton. You're not a numbers person. Let our people go. Let freedom ring again. Come for me if you want to. Any day, any time. Send your as Mwanawasa did, send your army, your military men, your paratroopers, whatever, your commandos, send them here and see if they will come out alive. I just surrendered because I didn't want them to kill people, ordinary citizens. Now you are killing people. You have kept the body of your former colleague who was in the heart office of the president, the people's office, the people's house, state house. 1 year unburied because of your paranoia. Schizophrenic paranoia. Enough is enough. I've been a reasonable commentator on Zambian political scene for over 40 years. I don't know when we were born. But you, I entered government in 1974. Where were you? Maybe in your diapers or something. If you're at college, I don't know what you're doing. Maybe your first year or something. But let me tell you about Professor Goma's statement, the usefulness of the useless. You have discounted me. You think I'm finished. In these 2 days that remains, you are going to fall. You are going to fall. Someone must explain the murder of Sadanis. Every CCTV footage, I've some here. Here, you can see it. Everywhere, I've got CCTV footage. Bring them. And you don't know what I've got here, planted all over this place. I'll protect my family. But you cannot protect yourself from me. You cannot, not even in community house. You find me standing by your bedside.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a video attributed to Dr. Katele Kalumba, very emotive, and it has gone extensively viral. The emotional outpouring emotion in that broadcast by Dr. Katele Kalumba. This is where you ask, is it AI, is it original? And Binwa Mpundu has just been punished for the video that he had issued. And the Electoral Commission of Zambia is being hypocritical in the manner that it dishes out punishment. Dr. Nevas Mumba was in Chinsali issuing tribal remarks, issuing hate speech against Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu. What has ECZ done about that? ECZ will not punish Nevas Mumba, will not punish Mao Sampa or any other person that are issuing derogatory and hate speech against members of the opposition. But they are quick to punish the remarks made by Binwa Mpundu. The remarks, like I said, on the day we had them on our breakfast show, which we analyzed, we said Binwa Mpundu's remarks are not AI. All of us know what AI is. And we said the statement was extremely careless. He has come to explain the circumstances under which the statement was issued. He has come to explain and stated that his media team misdirected the issue, and he says it's not AI. But he's been punished. ECZ have withdrawn his accreditation just at this short notice. Things are hot in our country, and I'll be opening the phone lines to hear from you.
Fight them. They can do what they want to do. But there will never be a time when I will fail to do what is needed because I am afraid. I drove here by myself. I parked my car next to the polling station. And if anybody wants to do me harm for what I've done, they are welcome to do it. But I will not be afraid. And I'm urging all of you in the NRUP, UP, and in the RP, monitors, to not be afraid. We have to protect our votes, no matter how many of us are going to pick up. We must be able to defend the democracy of this country. If others will be afraid, we most of all must be unafraid.
Mr. Lungu, we're coming to a close. What's your word to the Zambian out there who will be going to the polls?
I am saying my urge to the Zambian people, and I'm not only talking to the general Zambian people, I'm talking to people who are supporting my position. I'm talking to some of the people who are not supporting my position, but can see the honesty by which I am expressing this. I am talking to those of you who are undecided. This election is no longer about an individual who wants to get into power. It is about an individual who is in power, who has made our lives very difficult, even when he undertook to make them better. Okay? So I urge all of you to turn out. If you want change, don't stay at home on Thursday. Get up, get on up, and tell your neighbor and your brother and your sister and your mother.
The lines are open. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
My name is CK, calling you from Kasama.
CK, make your contribution. Sorry, I've posted, just a minute to my dear audience. I've posted the breaking story of Hector Skazwe, former Director General of Intelligence, who we understand has been picked up, and I'm urging lawyers and our political actors to quickly look up to him. But the post that was made is carrying the images of the late Samuel Nkoma. Thank you very much for alerting me. I'll delete quickly the picture of Honorable Samuel Nkoma, the late DG. The one that has been picked up is former Director General Hector Skazwe. That's the information we have. Thank you. Please call or continue.
Well, like I said, my name is CK from Kasama.
CK, make your contribution.
Good evening, fellow citizens, Zambians, and good evening to you, Mr. Mwamba. I just want to urge our Zambians, my fellow Zambians, please, as we go to vote, let's reflect on where we are coming from. Not only from 2021, since this government took power, but let us go way, way back to the Kaunda regime. Even before the colonial regime, we did not have the freedom to speak. We did not have the freedom to feel free as though we are living in our own country. And now we are being taken back to those times. People have been gagged with so much laws that are not supposed to be there. These are abductions that are happening. These are the things that used to happen in colonial. When you speak against the whites, definitely as you are asleep in your house, you find that your neighbors won't find you tomorrow. The colonial masters would pick you up. They would break your doors, they'll pick you up, incarcerate you without charges, punish you, so that even when you come outside, you don't say you are not free anymore. You can't speak against them. But this is not what we want. We want leaders who are real, whereby we're able to criticize whatever they are doing. Look at the likes of Edgar Lungu. Edgar Lungu was insulted. Many are the times he was insulted. I've been one of them who speak ill about Edgar Lungu, but not a day you would hear him say, not even utter a word. He knew that he had a big job to do in the office, which was to cater for the Zambian people. Now look at this president that we are having. This president is full of heads. If we give him the next coming 5 years, I'm promising you Zambians, you shall feel as though you are foreigners living in a very bad country. Let us watch our votes. I'm telling you, he won't concentrate even on these promises that he's giving you. He's going to concentrate on who became popular during this campaigning period. Who should he arrest? Which party should he destroy? So many are going to go to jail. By the time he notices 5 years will finish, and the next thing now you start thinking of changing the constitution so that he can stay longer now. Because you run out of lives. Us Zambians are poor, but we are full of love. Look at what happened to Bill 7. We spoke our mind as Zambians. We said we didn't want that. And what did they do? Because they had money, they bought off even opposition leaders and paid them to do their will, not the Zambians. And what makes you think that they will not change the constitution in the next coming 5 years? We don't want to start living like other countries, whereby now we are having presidents who are staying in office more than they are supposed to. And if there's something that you haven't noticed about this government, whenever they are trying to push an agenda, they will use their people as stooges to just say something, and then after some time, it becomes what those people were saying. That is what Hakainde is pushing for. He's pushing to even squash off this term limit. Let us wake up. Let us see the pain we have passed through. We've got families where we are coming from. These people that are being picked like dogs, for example, the 2 women that were picked in a Nissan Juke, those are very simple citizens. They are not mafias. They would have issued them with call out. I'm pretty sure if they did so, they would have gone to the police, exculpated themselves, and if they were found wanted, they would have been arrested. Right now, they don't know where they are, and they were gunshots. Maybe accidentally, one of them was shot. Look at Finley. In as much as we don't know whatever he was doing, if somebody is guilty, we have no problem as Zambians. Arrest them in the rightful way. Let people have access to their family members, because you can't come and stand on a podium and start asking people to vote for you, but you're busy penalizing them and persecuting them. Those people have got families where they're coming from. And in one family, maybe there are 10s or 20 or even hundreds. Those are the same voters that Hakainde Hichilema is going to asking that they should bring him back on that seat.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. I've got a lot of people waiting. Let's allow other people to join. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Ambassador Mwamba, this is Mumbipiri.
Mkwaimayo, mwashibukeni. Elo ochungulopo mkwayuko.
Mwatukulina ichungulo nakasuba n'obushuko.
Mkwai, I know Lusaka is extremely tense, but we have to check on one another. Just before you come in, Honorable Mumbipiri, I had sounded out an alert that there's some issues around former Director General of Intelligence, Hector Skazwe. Someone has written me a message that they've just spoken to him and that I should be assured that he's safe. I hope that you sending me the message, you are sincere, and Mr. Hector Skazwe is safe. You know, with live broadcast, you receive information live. Thank you, Honorable Mumbipiri. Please go ahead.
First, let me start with the women. The 2 women who have been abducted, an ambassador, Martha Lungu Kamutumwa.
Muitumwa.
And the Muitumwa and the little girl Katontoka. Was safe. A lot of people have talked about Mrs. Kamutumwa because she's
Mrs.
a former diplomat. Muitumwa, yes. Mrs. Muitumwa, adabererani balungu kairi bafuma same village with my husband's father.
No, I know.
And having been a former headmistress for St. Monica's, a very distinguished woman, bamusenda firianga kabwalala. But let me tell you, you might not also be aware. Do you know that the young girl who was picked with her, the father was a very senior officer in one of our services? Bakatontoka.
Okay.
Very senior. So iwewe wikelapo because ngodi mu office ule imona to safe. That girl is a direct daughter to Bakatontoka, who was a very senior man, but retire and is still alive. If you ever father valantire, at no shalimo akabamo. Ababa kashana babiri. Banina no one I can call Martha can be a mother to the Katontoka girl. Twakwana nomba kwati 6 fwebana mayo. Fwebo bachita treat the way we have been treated. Ababulo mulandu. Nina was arrested by our Zambian constitution. Idia video yale chita circulate media. It wasn't supposed to be accepted as evidence in the courts of law. But because of the way we are living, it was there. And I was in the gallows for over a year. Nobody ever ate. Bakainde ichire mabalandati, I killed somebody. He was always saying she was watching when Lawrence Banda was being shot. Is that fair? And he went further to say, let me tell you, even if you are my relative or you are my brother and sister, if you commit a crime, you face the law. Because I'm his mother-in-law. And I've never begged or said anything. The law took its course. Where we are today, let me send my word of condolences to the Sadanis family. Andrew Sadanis, and I know his children very well. Dorini Mwambasefuke, my elder sister, Sylvia Muhango, and I know the only man who was amongst us was Maya Basinjambi. And I hear is the one I haven't seen since we parted. I hear is in Mumbwa. They can agree with me that when we were the first presidential hostesses, Mines Air Services and the Chibote group of companies merged, and they were the owners of the Challenger. We used to fly with him. A very pleasant man. He was slightly older than me. And then, when I became a member of parliament, his late father was so proud that from his part of the airline, I became a lawmaker. Andrew Sadanis even used to give me free holidays with my children. We could go to Chaminoka when it was just coming up. Ines Stavros, I will not call him by his English name because the father told me, I asked him, why do you call this young man, he's a white man, as Shula? and he told me the one who gave him the name Shula was his best friend, Bashikopa. And that young man who has been killed is known as Shula Sadanis. But Sadanis had 3 children, like Guy Scott. 2 were white, and both of them were girls, adopted from the Zambian family. It's so sad. Bamwamba, I was supposed to go to radio programs the past 2 days na alifirwa. Ba Dorini, ba Sylvia Muhango, they can agree with me. These were decent children, humbly brought up. No mbana mumona tuatampa. We are living in a digital world. If you tuambo kumfwa, ama recordings ture umfwa, lesa tuafwe lesa talala. Kubulu leso kwaba. Bamwamba, when you look at what is happening in our country, inena alikala mu prison. Ero bantu ede ku prison parapa fest, isha atalire monapo. Baleeta omuntu kumongu prison kukuli abena Chester wabula warrant, because you are only given a warrant when you go to court. Ati nonshita abantu balea straight ku prison ba prison commissioner. Are you doing the right thing? Ukutwala abantu ebo tabara twala ku court, they are not yet charged.
I remember Mayo, just a minute. I remember when we were following up the case of Zumani Zimba, former State House a special assistant for politics. Bamwikete. Remember wale mushingurusha bamutwaloko. One night we're looking for him. They had taken him to prison. You cannot take someone to prison who has not appeared in court. But can you imagine, our people are being taken, like the people that were picked up the other day have been taken to Mwembeshi. I think, to my knowledge, Vowden and Binu have not appeared in court. So how have you taken them to Mwembeshi prison? Just continue. I just thought I could.
Yes, I was driven from Chongwe, my residence, in the presence of my grandchildren. One of those grandchildren, others may get annoyed, but it's only the truth. And the one who said it, it's President Hakainde Hichilema himself, who said, I'm his relative. And he wanted to talk about my daughter and his cousin, and I said to refrain, and let me not bring the young children in this political situation. But all of njikata to take me to Kaoma. Aba Iswile Gate was my grandchild, a girl and a boy. And aba ishire mukunjikata ba ishire bebati, they are priests. Bashimwamba imomo arishiba. Me, my home is open to sisters, priests. Why? Because my husband was in the seminary. Later, his late brother, in case you don't know, Father Aston passed away. Ude father mwa umfuira child fuire ku katete mu accident, Bapiri's young brother.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
we ordained my own nephew, Kukalabo, my husband's young brother's child, who is a brother. Baishire ingira pano, bansendere pano ubushiku. I was driven from Lusaka to Alefika Mukaoma 04:30. I was taken to court. Then I appear mu court. That's when they took me now to prison. nombesire ekitika kulabwine kumongoko naikere ababa ichobo baikata and there are 17 in total baya kudya kukapokola with no warrant nomba inochonde ipusha. And when you look at the names of the police, the judges, whoever is being used, even the DPP bafuma ku region uko the other region tabareba bomfyo ku kitefya bufuba. What does that mean? And people are saying abanesu ba UPND abalembaka notebook akasuma sana, which will be a reference notebook. But when you really look at it, are people saying it in good faith? Let me not take much of your time as I conclude. I'm urging the people of Zambia. I've gone around Kuma provinces, specifically, Yokonchitile spend a lot of time. Is not northwestern, western, and Apalo Nabwere southern. Abantu balelanda ati we are Timunoligaria. And people have heard that Nendalama, which was contributed by themselves, Mobile Chita donate, ama 20 kwacha, ama 5 kwacha, ama 50 kwacha, Ishiba Chita confiscate. Mwebantu, kwate nimitima, idai nemwa kwata, mukonko, kuya mukunfwa, message, yaba mundu bile na bama kepi. We were distracted. We know what we want. Bonse mwebo basalira zama polling agents. You go in. And when you are going in with no coin, no ngwe, you remember kweba tipakupoko buntungwa. There were people who sacrificed. And I'll specifically talk about ba Mwanga Nkumbura. N'abantu ba Southern Province baabikira ng'ombe pamo bashitira bakawunde ticket nobo bayire nabo okuya ku Britain na imwe bonse mwebena Zambia pano twafika fweba kweta amataba fweba kwete chibwabwa fweba kwete rep. Let's take it upon ourselves to make sure that they identify a polling station, we become volunteers because yadamba tu kwacha mwa chitire contribute ubuteko na busenda. So ichitampo kutwalira baliaba kalachita guard amanani kanama votes, and I'll talk more about this because bashimwamba right now, right now, me, I'm out of Lusaka. You can't believe it. Open there, as an observer where I volunteered.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. There are so many. Yeah, there are so many calls. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My dear sister Mumbi Piri was giving us a brief. Let me just run through. The lines are open. You can phone right now. You can phone right now. But let me just run through people that have been arrested. Ambassador Martha Lungu, who was our ambassador in Switzerland, in the Confederation of Switzerland, and she was our permanent representative to the United Nations in Geneva. And Hannah Israel Katontola. We have Kenneth Kamba and Vauden Findlay, and former Deputy Permanent Secretary in Lusaka, Fraser Msonda. We have the 3 boys that were sent to Russia, Victor Mziamba, Dixon Tembo, and Enoch Mwanza. Then we have the case of Sebastian Copeland. You just heard the young man, Daliso Zulu, explaining the earlier broadcast that was interrupted. Sebastian Zulu has been released this afternoon, but they've kept Dr. Emmanuel Nkoma. You have Jaffer Mwakalombe and George Sanga that were directed to report to DEC, where the 7 million kwacha for vote protection has been confiscated. You have the demise of Stereos Shula Sadanis. Why we are ranking it as a political case? Because we understand that Charles Longwe, who had petitioned the president, who has been fighting the leadership of the PF, who has petitioned that judges in the High Court and Constitutional Court must be punished and just taken them to the JCC, has all along been living at Chaminuka Luxury Lodge, where Stereos Shula Sadanis was the co-owner. And his gruesome murder is being linked to politics because of that. We have the case of the security officer for Dan Yenga. Remember, a Brian Mwila, popularly known as Baba, who was picked up by soldiers, not by police, but by 2 Land Cruisers of soldiers, and stormed Dan Yenga's campaign team in Kabwata. We have those that were arrested at Protea Hotel in Chipata during, after the burial of the late His Majesty King Mpezeni. Black Apple and Peter Macheni, Rick Chambawilo, Thomas Mvula, Peter Mwawa, and Rickson Piri. We have the people that were arrested in the Mongu matter. Remember when they stopped the roadshow for Kalabo for Brian Munduwile and Makebi Zulu, and arrested those when they disrupted the rally in Mongu. So we have Moses Ingandwe, popularly known as Chester, Winston Ngosa, IDC Light Comedy, and Felix Mangani Piri, who's Felix Ndangeni Nshila. They are 32 security officers that have been detained. Some have been transferred to Kaoma, others are in Mongu, and we understand some could have been taken to Kalabo. But there are total 32 officers, for Brian Munduwile that have been picked up. We have bloggers, Rooney and Zubi, who joins Hannah. These have been our bloggers that carry live, were also arrested in Mongu. These are the numbers, the names we know. It's very important to keep track for the sake of the family, for the sake of our colleagues, so that they don't feel that they've been forgotten, that they are not known. If there's anyone that I haven't mentioned who has been arrested or detained in this prolonged detention, kindly send us a number. It's very important to just do that. Let's go back to the cause. I thought I could just summarize, since we are discussing the crackdown that has occurred on Brian Munduwile's team in an attempt to paralyze it. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Chanda, my brother.
Chanda, sorry I've kept you holding for a long time. My dear brother, make your contribution.
I want to appreciate how you have started the program on a very, very somber note with the clips you had of Dr. Katele. Fortunately, I'd received that like 5-6 hours ago from our brother Chanda, George, Chulumanda, because I was talking to him. And this crackdown is not going well. And I know of a couple, and they was there with him. They've done a lot of work in Mansa. And my brother is hiding. Now they have blocked all ways of even communicating with them. But we've managed to somehow get through a lady who has assisted us. And he's okay now, as well.
Who is okay?
But Chulumanda, George.
George Chulumanda was also missing in Mansa?
No, he's okay. He's okay, but he was not able to even, his accounts are blocked.
Okay.
This level is not okay, my brother. It's not okay. Honestly, it is not okay. But some woman helped us out. I am a levels via Kwavantuava. Kutiwali la. Like, if he in Dalama Shalvefi, I've told him I'm going to take care of Mansa. You know, and he's going to inform you all that it's been taken care of. You know,
Okay, my brother. Thank you very much. Don't go into full disclosure of what's happening, just for your safety and safety of those that are helping with the campaign. Thank you for your work and thank you for your sacrifices. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. There is a sense of uneasiness. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. No, just a minute, Mutale. Let's get the other caller. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador Bamunkonge.
Bamunkonge Mabombeni, London Poyama.
Mkwaya we Ambassador after program untinatematoranda ko Ambassador. Twashara no bushikubu monde koseresha ko ntungurushi kwambira pa ward level okuisa Africa constituency no kufika fena pa province. Ndeshiromba mwe bantu akwalesa ishita tulipo na ibipa koseresha ntungurushi shiri pansho kufika na pa branch. Veshu yokwe bati ishita tubererepo. Ndarama na shupa ishita yakunu mokama elections tware pitamu. Yadi nomo. Kware bafira fina basita participate wakwata kwa kanono. Nomba pali ino ishtatrerisha independence. Oro liparo sana anga chakwe watu wa taking a call bali. Na wonse aba ibimbire muri security. Awabale ngufu abene na abeshiba. Bakonkanyepo babike bon na mashiwina yambi kubri bambi abekere pakwe bati uri obushiko. Ushku wako ya mkwimba God filamwale ya kura kumufumbwe ukwenda panshi no kuya afika kura ku God mine chabe changu kokuya pa polling station imeni ni namba mwemisepera na alishwo kwebati mwemisepera mwalikatana firafine nangu tuma dondo firafine nangu waliako karatene kama mwakana ba before lalo fuete patali oko tuwafuma ekutali lero tuikwatana emitima isha kweba tiyo chara bashani tukabasefu tukekare no kurorera amavoti no kwishina ama bakapunde ope bapunda firafine na imwe mweba mbi mwe bali security mwachita escort ali ama papers ukuya pa accounting center na pena para pacific center mwakonkanya pokwisha ushku mweba ntuteti tufwe epo fe bashima pepo barachita fasting na pali ino ishandera ndabashima pepo abengi bali mu fasting nomba ifanga twachita kufe fasting one day leso chenga turambura kuntanshi chikuru oro chimbi wa ambassador ndera ndako kuri ba teacher nama civil servants ipsheni question imo opo muikere 2021 wa youth bali imile chintangombe nationally alifumati wa 1.8 na abantu abengi ukoya votera baaka inde no mutima
Bamunkonge. I want to read some dropping news. I've seen that Dr. Katele Kalumba has posted something on his page. Let me just take the last caller. Tuma later. Let me take this call, then we go to what Dr. Katele Kalumba has written. That's a Goodness with Live broadcast. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Yes, Ambassador. Good afternoon, good evening. My name is Kapali Daka, and I've been watching the program, and thank you very much for this wonderful program. Now, I want to put a highlight or spotlight on what's been happening with abductions, particularly the abduction of Dr. Emmanuel Nkoma. So I have information that none of his family has been able to visit him. Every time they go to that police station, they're being told that he's not there. But then later this evening, his family has been there maybe like 20 times. And they're being told that he's been moved out of that Livala police station. But this evening, their lawyers went there. Then they were told that you cannot talk to him until we get instructions from the top. Basically, he's being denied access to his lawyers. They're telling him that the issue is that he's fighting the government. Basically, it sounds like they're accusing him of treason, right? They're saying he's fighting the government. But then I'm wondering, what is fighting the government? I thought we had an election. An election is two opposing parties, they present their manifestos, and the people like whatever manifesto that they like. And then the people have to protect the votes. So I see the people around Honorable Munduvire, all they're trying to do is just get the message out there and protect their vote. But that is what Mr. Hakainde is interpreting as fighting the government. And that is why he's going after all these innocent people. He's accusing them of fighting the government. Now, I want also to ask for people who are listening right now. The reason that Dr. Kopolande and I think his nephew or his grandchild were released is because of the good people of Zambia. You shared the story widely. And the same did not happen yet for Dr. Ngoma. So I'm appealing to all well wishers, wherever you are. There's also in addition to Chester, IDC, there's also this gentleman, Dr. Nkoma, who has been held up at that police station, and they've denied him access to his lawyers. They've denied him access to his family. So his family has been there and they're worried all day.
Kapale Joseph Daka, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ambassador.
Thank you for the update. Wonderful update from my dear brother Joseph, who's based here in the United States and is a good friend to Dr. Emmanuel Nkoma, who's detained at Richard Kachingwe police station. The other two that he was picked with, Sebastian Copeland and the young man Daliso Zulu, have been released and have been, put on bond. That they are investigating charges that they have a conspiracy to commit crime. Now, the video that has gone viral of Dr. Katele Kalumba, I want us to discuss it because it's being discussed in social media. Dr. Katele Kalumba, there is a response that has come from Mal Sampa, and just this evening, Dr. Katele Kalumba has responded to Mal Sampa. And then let's just discuss this briefly because Dr. Katele Kalumba is a former finance minister. And you will remember that is a former finance minister under the government of Dr. Frederick Chiluba. But he was pardoned by President Hakainde Hichilema in August 2023. And in 2025, he received an absolute discharge. On August 1, 2023, he received an absolute discharge. So, remember he was unwell and he had, I think, both heart failure, spinal injury, and on medical grounds, the president pardoned him completely, and later there was an absolute discharge in 2025. So a man like that, you'd expect him to be eternally grateful to the president. But this is what he said and justified why he had to say that. That despite what I've done for you and despite what you have done for me, there is a quid pro quo relationship between the two that go a long way. So Dr. Katele Kalumba is justifying his extremely sensitive remarks. And if you had to land that team, will get the phone away from him. But the elections time and he has issued very emotive issues. And I hope that people will not become petty, pick him up and charge him with all sorts of crimes. But let's first, just 10 minutes, let's discuss this matter. You derail my thoughts. Just 10 minutes, we want to acquire let's just discuss Katele Kalumba and the two correspondents to inform the audience of what's happening. Because he has even mentioned the very sensitive issue of stereo Sudanese, where he's accusing the president that the president must investigate this matter. Please call us. Just give me a moment. Let's discuss this.
Mr. President Hakainde Hichilema of the Republic of Zambia,
Into the volume. Hello, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? I think there was no volume. I was saying Dr. Katele Kalumba. Dr. Katele Kalumba. Let's just discuss him briefly, and I'm urging all of you who are calling just to stop calling just for a moment. I noticed that my volume was off for whatever reason. But Dr. Katele Kalumba is former finance minister. He was officially pardoned on medical grounds in August 2023 by President Hakainde Hichilema. He subsequently received an unconditional pardon in October 2025, which he lauded as a major gesture of national healing and reconciliation. He was released and given this pardon purely on medical grounds. Because remember, there was a trial and he was given, he was imprisoned, and President Hakainde Hichilema then exercised his presidential powers and gave him a pardon. But in the broadcast, Dr. Katele Kalumba recognizes that there has been a relationship between the two, quid pro quo kind of relationship. I've done something for you, you've done something for me, we can't discuss. But because of what is happening in the country, I'm compelled to speak. And Dr. Katele Kalumba spoke. And he's spoken some very sensitive issues that he has said that probably shouldn't have been said. You know, when you are emotional and you are very grieved, sometimes you be careless in your remarks. He has been pleading for the release of his erstwhile friend, Xavier Chungu, who was thrown in prison and was a presidential candidate. And Kaka Msimanga, as they call him, has been pleading the case of Xavier Chungu. Now there are these abductions. I think that's what compelled him to issue this emotional video. So there has now been a response. Mal Sampa says something about Katele Kalumba's incarceration and subsequent pardon. And the callers, please just give me a moment. I will take your calls. And now Katele Kalumba has responded. Let's just discuss, play the video briefly, and then we discuss the matter. Then I'll invite you to come and make your calls.
My name is Katele Kalumba, and I'm speaking to you directly. Two days before election day, I'm thankful for everything you did to me. And I'm sure you should be thankful for everything I did to you. I'm not going to explain, those things. But what is happening now is not in the interest of our country. And I believe that you are at the helm of it. You are responsible as the President of the Republic of Zambia. You are responsible to protect the lives of every Zambian under the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia. I don't know what your job is if you cannot protect the lives of Zambians who are expressing a different opinion from you, who want to provide leadership different from you. I'm disappointed, because I thought you were a good man. What I've found out now is a man who was pretentious, a man who pretended to be a good man, and yet underneath there was a very evil person. a very evil person. So much is going on, abductions, deaths, and strangulations, whatever you can imagine. The worst scenario in a purportedly democratic country. Just to win an election. I thought a very evil person. Until you are nowhere compared to your arch-rival, your nemesis, the dead Edgar Chagwa Lungu. You are worse than Edgar Chagwa Lungu. I was close to Edgar Chagwa Lungu at some point, others was close to you. In fact, closer to him, I understand him better from the family level to the political level. But as a campaign strategist for you in 2015, which cost me my business, my family's business, I expected you to, I thought I was sacrificing for a gentleman.
So there's that video that you can follow up. Let's just discuss briefly. Mao Sampa wrote the following, and I want to read it. Then Honorable Katele Kalumba has responded. Mao Sampa wrote, in 2023, I found Dr. Katele Kalumba admitted to the University Teaching Hospital, and he was very sick as a convict. He was later jailed for corruption or abuse of office, and the case slapped on him by the then MMD government, where he was finance minister. HH didn't have to, but he used his discretion and powers to pardon him out of jail. Barely a year later, Katele is now calling the same HH names that those he's now praising use the same names to paint HH backwards in the 2021 general elections. HH still won by over 1 million votes. A straight case of Uluse Lwalile Nkwale. It's the one that helps you come to haunt you. Anyway, the same God that had the last say in 2021 will say the same in the next 2 days. A response to Katele's video that has gone viral. And now let me look at a statement by Abakalamba, Dr. Katele Kalumba responding to Mao Sampa, and then we quickly discuss, and then I open the phone lines once again. So he says, Mao Sampa, sad that you wrote about me on an issue you had no knowledge of. Yes, you visited me in hospital, but do you know what? I already knew whom you came to visit, one of my sister's late husband. I can't speak for her, but I knew your motive before you even walked through the door of that hospital sideward. You were sent to ascertain my true health. Now you can sound untreacherous. Since I wasn't addressing you, let me now address you. I'm Katele. Miles or kilometer, some people are alike. There's more snake in the grass. Let's pick our caller. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello, Mwabombeni Mkwai.
Mkwai Mayo, Mwabombeni.
Twabomba fya bwino, network taidi bwino.
Okay, Mkwai.
Bamamba bakateka ba president chechi na bafirwa. batata bakatereka bulumba n'abalanda bwino sana newo bananyirenda bakatere n'abalanda bwino sana emkwayi aba bakateeka 10 points lyabalelanda poyonse n'abafirwa tulyo tubunga balemya mu mukoshikonseko baleya mu malali n'abafirwa apa nomba batampukula tusendere fidoli efyo baletuletera mu malali ife baleikata abantu ababula emirando akanwa kamokeena kabakateeka ababene babbaali abayisa mukushita fixed abantu aba nabo ilyabalelanda tingesa mukushita fixed kanshi kwisa mukushita fixed aba nabo kulaba babika mufifungo ababula omulando akanwa kabo balandira okwebati not ukubika omuntu state ukwabula okufailikisha mukifungo wawe but mwenenema musician abene Felix abo abakaele milandu nsheyo bababikira mufungo finshi bachita basenda nempyesho twasonkere fwe bantu twareposa po tuma 10 kwacha tuma 5 kwacha baya mkutusendere empyasheso lero kulanda fye chishinga babali tafya bombe tukepike fimba tukanayo bwali na derere tukasenda ero na tuiperesha okuya sunga amavoti yesu kulya balachite fintu ifine fitafya bombe fyefye twalandire pa festu kwe bati ifi banyantirira ba president Edgar Lungu nanguli bwero bakasonto kwe bati libwe lyala iminena na babali tuka vote.
We've lost her. Okay, the lines are open. I just wanted to put in context. There's been those two responses. We'll summarize them on our Facebook page. Let's go to your phone lines. I think this is what makes this program is the phone lines. So the lines are open and you can call.
Fight them. They can do what they want to do. But there will never be a time when I will fail to do what is needed because I am afraid. I drove here by myself. I parked my car next to the polling station. And if anybody wants to do me harm for what I've done, they are welcome to do it. But I will not be afraid. And I'm urging all of you in the NRUP, UP, and in the RP, monitors, to not be afraid. We have to protect our votes, no matter how many of us are going to pick up. We must be able to defend the democracy of this country. If others will be afraid, we most of all must be unafraid.
Mr. Lungu, we're coming to a close. What's your word to the Zambian out there who will be going to the polls?
I am saying to my urge to the Zambian people, and I'm not only talking to the general Zambian people, I'm talking to people who are supporting my position. I'm talking to people who, some of the people who are not supporting my position, but can see the honesty by which I am expressing this. I am talking to those of you who are undecided. This election is no longer about an individual who wants to get into power. It is about an individual who is in power, who has made our lives very difficult even when he undertook to make them better. Okay? So I urge all of you to turn out. If you want change, don't stay at home on Thursday. Get up, get on up, and tell your neighbor and your brother and your sister and your mother and every circle of you to get on up and go and... So I urge all of you to turn out. If you want change, don't stay at home on Thursday. Get up, get on up, and tell your neighbor and your brother and your sister and your mother and every circle of you to get on up and go and vote.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Mamba.
Good evening.
Okay, I will remain anonymous for Mamba. Mamba, first thing, if you have my abductions, I'll first if you have my abductions. My abductions are reached Zambia at the moment. It's only 2 days to go to the elections. So many people have been abducted and police and so forth. Not know which covery. It's just an intimidation of the government to get votes from the people. There's too many cases. This is the clear picture of government failed in all angles. They cannot give a man to like previously. The president has got no say 10-point plan. The president has literally given nothing to the people for the last 5 years of our bomb, but to point to say this is what we've done. All these abductions, it's just clear invitation so that abantu bakwato mwenso, they should carry on with this government. If this government continues, I want to become a clear picture in the after 13th August. Abantu tabakalela, and this is a clear demonstration where we going. So if you want to free the Baishwa, we know sana, but if you village at the moment. But at the moment, the old Zambians, we need to stay together, focused, and whatever is happening, but everyone knows we need to change this government and put in a fresh government. Zambia is more blessed than Congo. Zambia requires minerals and so forth, and those minerals and so forth. No, looks like government quadra plan and so forth, but with the clear vision of plan provide some power, this country will develop flourish. Those things can be paid for.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Thank you so much. Well, Bamamba, I think it was Africa hapa tulipalasti. Lelo choninga fecha kwebati. Fuebena Zambia bonse. Tushipe sana. And let's start praying. Let's fast. Because the Lord has actually given us the way. Fiance fiore chitamkwai. Na vesh wokwebati. Na vaya. So inendela ndafe kubena Zambia okwebati. Mwebena Zambia muitina. Let's fight. Tuitina nangwapa no. Pantunga tuavika pomwenso. Nishino kupachapwa. Tatu wakatara tupoke chalo chesi. Chichalo tet tukwate. Umuntu kwate na kalimoni alien eule tuteka. Andieti mwina Zambia. Bala tuteka kwate na kalimo tulibasha. Echo tuinga vera basha chishi. Awe chakana sana ba mwamba. So please na papa tamwe bantu besu. Muitina, ero muipange fiongo, mwe fiaba ashipa. Abashipe chine. Epo na pera ba mwanda. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Bamunkonge mwabwela mkwa ilandeni po.
De konkanya fe parapenya na chipelera Ambassador. Na chira pibro kwebata. Wama civil servants. Moneko ichirangiriro kuri kuba votere ba HH pantuine ishaba votereko abari 1.2 baba bika mupawa ba 1.2 kufuma mu 2021 kufika na lero ba yufi bali barabata kwa bamachito bali bapishena muri 4 years ukwa burama right nomba imwe ba civil servant mwe bampendo afu mwe bari tangisho kwebati mukaligingisha ama elections ayo ipusheni epo umuntu akano okusakamana 1.2 million people awa mupere vote ili ya free nomba imwe baletu mokwebati steady stable wa Brian Mundubire mwipusha kwebati ayo ni amaka muleru isho kwebati mumupere maka yene akabonfya n'okumipwisha. So before taramipwisha, 2 days ya sharako, na muri last minute, kuti mwamupwisha. Chiteni chintu chirefa abena Zambia. Noti omuntu umo, amipatikisho kona ole charo. Charo chenu, ali misanga akalemu aliambe nchito, mwipushe mwewe nefya mwachita nchito yenu na mabutekwa ya pitapo. Au special vuba haka inde abo, pakwe bati, bese bamipiriwure, bese bamipange chipia. Mwewe mbi muriana kuri retirement. Chinshi mwara rekeresha abena Zambia, chama murekeresha uyu muntu umo. Ngefine bakatereka rumba barandiro kwe bati, 2 days ya shara kwe ine. Ikuru sana. Na mwewe wabo mfyenishita yonse muma issues ya ramba. Noku bituma mufya ramba. Muri ine 2 days. Chinjeni amano, chiteni support abena Zambia. Nga mwafu abena Zambia baka mpera no muchinshi ukuru. Murekenyu yo muntu. Ale ya eka. Mushare necharo.
Thank you, Bamunkonge.
Dr. Nkoma.
Thank you,
Dr. Nkoma, ni wakongo. Mure randati wakongo, wanta wabeshu bati. Dr. Nkoma, fuwa wekatire. Na wabeshu bati wasamgusta broadcast. Because wala starani ya kongo ni kuma yadi. Ifure mwa sitabuino explain. Chinsuma mkoa.
Alokola, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make a contribution.
Yeah, the network has been very bad here. I'll go straight to the point of the remarks of the legend, Dr. Katele Kalumba. Hello, Ambassador, are you there?
Yes, please, make your contributions.
I think Dr. Katele Kalumba is expressing his views as a citizen, and a patriotic citizen for that matter, who is saying, look, I have a relationship with you, HH. This is personal. I have a relationship with you, but I'll speak for the majority Zambians. I think you have failed. And that's what Dr. Katele Kalumba is trying to explain. And he's saying, look, I thought you are far much better. I thought at one point Zambian gave us a good leader because I campaigned for him in 2015. But to the contrary, you are so evil and you should be voted out. And for Sampa to come and attack him that way, you can tell that indeed Sampa is just there as a bootlicker. And the man responded to him in a very sober and mature way. On that one, Ambassador, I move on. I want to urge Zambians as they are going to vote in the next 2 days, that if you remember the voting in 2021, Zambians voted against Kadarism, which was in PF. They were eating, they were doing almost everything was okay. The same cadres would give them something to eat, but there was that Kadarism that Zambians were not happy about it. And today we are talking about there is Kadarism in the country. Not just a Kadarism of pushing left, right, and center at the point of killing, adoption, arrest. On top of all those things, people are suffering this economical collapse. Their economy has collapsed completely. So Zambians are going to vote against HH with multiple things in their hands. They are saying, look, this is a guy who promised ABCD and he has failed to deliver. So as we are going on that day, Zambians are voting with anger. They are voting with emotion because this is a person they believed on. So I urge Zambians at this hour, 2 days to go, that let's rise. Get them a pens, get your own pen. Ambassador, today I was talking to people, you don't know how many, I was talking to about 6 people that I didn't know that they are Jehovah's Witness, apart from one. They have registered because it's true, like Wamumbi Piri said, the senior politician said, said, we find ourselves in trouble. So this is not one man's problem. Even Jehovah's Witness, they were going through the load shedding. They were not eating. They are buying a minimum at 450, at 350, name it. All the difficulties that have got nothing to do, say this one is not Jehovah's Witness. So I was talking
Thank you. I need to cut because I have to go. So we only have another 10 minutes. Let me take the other calls, Wamutali. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Iyo ndife wino yamani mwebani and tell us your contributions.
Ishina Ndineo Michael Zefenia Piri. I'm calling from Lusaka, Zambia. Yeah, ndefwa ndande kuna inewa mwamba filishtika mno Zambia. Filishtika Zambia fiatu dawisha after over 6 decades, which is more than 60 years of independence. Ama elections ya 2026 aya na ya tudabwisha just because our president Hakainde Hichilema the last 5 years there is no opposition and no one can challenge him. Even his ministers, they were saying ama videos are there that there is no opposition. Now, some of us twareremba kwa articles twareranda to president stop gagging the Zambians. And we used, like myself, I'd written an article. Most of the articles, I think, I used to say that the oppositions are the Zambian people. And today, what I want to tell President Hakainde Hichilema is this. But President, the opposition is not the people you have arrested. We, the 20 million Zambians, the 7 million Zambians who have registered, those are your biggest opposition. And there's 13 million Zambians. These are the people who are your opposition. Mr. President, do what is right. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda told us that this man, is the person I fear that is going to divide Zambia. Is it true what Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, because we have seen what is now happening, exactly what Dr. Kenneth Kaunda reminded us. Mr. President, you are the president of the Republic of Zambia. You have said that PF was worse than any other government in Zambia. But today, your government under your watch, it has become 10 times worse than what you have claimed about Patriotic Front. So, Mr. President, I know if you want, you can arrest the entire country. But I can assure you, the Zambian people are ready to vote you out in the next 2 days. And I want to tell our brother Mausampa, I've mentioned you 3 times. Mausampa, today, you want to become a person who should take over and respond to everything. But you are the same person who was complaining about Hakainde Hichilema. And I'm addressing to you, Mausampa. You remember when I worked with you, I told you, Mausampa, that if you are going to take us to UPND, me, I won't go with you. And you promised me, and I want you to reject today, Mausampa. You said I cannot go to UPND. If it's a Fenia, I go to UPND, you should not follow you. And this is why I even resigned to work with you. I was there, I wanted to see what you are going to do, because you are claiming that you loved the Patriotic Front, you loved Edgar Lungu, you loved Michael Sat. Now you have become a treacherous. I'm challenging you what I have said, Mausampa, if I am lying. You are there to protect yourself. You are there, you think that HH is going to hand over PF back to you. When HH, he has told you in public that you are a Pompwe, you are the Pompwe from the Patriotic Front. If you remember the very day you went, when some of us will remain behind, the Vice President even sang a song to rebuke you, that you should have opened your eyes. And now you are creating more enemies. You have created more enemies. That's why Dr. Katere Kalumba has told you that you are a green snake. You are a small green snake in the grass. And it's true. Mausampa, today, you want to look like you are more UPND than anybody else. You remember you are the same person, Mausampa, who said that Zambian people, they told you that, can you go and work with your friends? But today you are forgotten. You think that you are so powerful because you are supporting HH. Remember where you are coming from. Remember, Mausampa, where you are coming from. Zambians, we are watching. We are watching, and I want to encourage Zambian people, let's stand in the next 2 days, let's come out, let's go with our own ball pens, and so that we vote UPND, and we are going to have peace and vote for Brian Mundubire and Makebi Zulu. Zambians, let's stand up. They have gotten the money which we have contributed, but let's stand up. We have suffered for the last 5 years, and we can't fail to defend our country in the next 2 days. In whatever they are doing, they are going to arrest all of us, and some of us, we are ready to be arrested, but we are going to be liberated. Time has come for President Akainde to start packing. Thank you, Mwamba. And I wanted to address
Thank you so much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Yes,
Good evening.
hello.
Yes, caller.
This is Davis Kapla.
Davis, yeah, make your contribution.
Davis Kapla. Yes, I'm calling from Northern Province.
Make your contribution.
Yes, isilandile bakachere kalumba intuiti kankala sana ero fishinka. Bakacheka besu fishinka liba badi sana disappoint kwebe kala chalo. Elio ba mao sampana bovene nizo file walondo rwele. Elio kabidi ubuteko bwabakainde na pira balanda batisa byambiro okubolera kumutwe. Ishinka lelo na chiva na ufwako eko batira kampena bamo kumpanda constituency ukwamba fyo kubempa fyo bufyukira yo ne misebweshi bapirwa ukubomba bayiboru pia liba mundubire nomba ukulolesha imisango shabakateka besu bakainde ikitema bamundubire nga bali kwetemirani. By this time around, ngatabaka kono kukanga bali yeka. Elio fidafyala ndile bakateka pali CCF. Ishinka balera nze abayashi ngalala mukigo kyo kutira CCF ikesa muleterera mwebengama members of parliament na councillors. Lelo bale repotila bonse ama councillors wa MPF lengo takupa development na nguimo fitungu bale teka, but which bale to prove only 10% of the CDF bale chali imbi ya levo ekelamu kubuteko mchecha alengano kutila development bako kuma constituency kwingi na kuma wadi pena fana chafu afyo kulanda kwa ofine. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother.
Zambia.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Hello, caller. Mkwai. Mkwai.
Hello, ikata bango. Takuya para ndita ulonso
Oh, Mama T, your line is very bad. That it has gone bad. Sorry. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Yes, thank you, Ambassador. My name is Patrick, calling from Lusaka.
Patrick, make your contribution.
Yes, I just want to say today, which is Tuesday for us here in Zambia, and Wednesday, tomorrow, and Thursday belongs to Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu. They could have had these days and done what they wanted. But these 3 days belong to these two, Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu. So all Zambians must not fear. We must go out and vote and protect our vote. We must be prayerful because God answers prayer and God hears when his children call. Let's remember the issue of the Israelites in Egypt. When they cried for deliverance, God granted them that deliverance. I don't think God wants us to go in the next 5 years going through the same things we went through and going through with His Excellency Inde Hichilema. I don't think God wants us to go through all those things. God wants to do a new thing in this country, and we must trust that God will do what he has promised us. We must go and cast our vote and believe that the rest, God will do it for us, and the angels will also protect us and protect our country and our generations to come. So thank you so much for this program. Zambians, let's be courageous, let's go and vote. And the rest, it shall be well in Jesus' name. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Let me take the last two calls. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Okay, this is Teska calling from Lusaka. In fact, it's raining this time around Lusaka, Matero.
Thank you, thank you.
Good evening, good afternoon, Mr. Mwamba, and everyone who is watching this program and participating. To be honest, Mr. Mwamba, our president currently, Mr. Inde Hichilema, is not even very ready to leave office. The ground is very much fertile for opposition to win this election. The only issue that we need to do, the more we are advising each other to have more players, let's also participate in vote protection. But we already know that they've tempered to the monies which were being contributed, because I'm also part of those people who contributed that money, using deck to grab that money so that they paralyze the whole process. But to be honest, all those our leaders in opposition to say, to be very much willing to accept people who are honest to work with them in vote protection, because most of us, we are very much willing to work to guard, to come, to guard, to vote and protect our votes. We are not going to fear anyone, even the police themselves. On Thursday is our day. If there is a day that we are to die, because everyone is waiting to die for a day to come in future. And if it happens to be that day, I'm telling you, some of us, we are very much ready to die for Mother Zambia. We are not trying by all means to incite any violence, but we want this ECZ institution to do the right thing. That's why we are even telling them right now, public, to say we are ready to die. If we can produce such statements that we are ready to die, meaning no one is going to hinder our stance. We are going to...
Not death amounts here, please. Not talk of death here, please.
Yes, I'm saying if they want to kill us, we are not going there for violence, but we are going to protect our votes. So if they are planning to kill us, that's why I'm saying we are ready, they can kill us without us being found ourselves in any violence.
Okay,
that's what
thank you, my brother. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba.
Good evening.
Good evening, our men Anonymous caller.
Thank you, Anonymous.
Mwamba.
Make your contribution.
Nendera kuti abantu bonse mukayina amabopeni yenu pakuvota amabopeni yamuli ayalafutika after 3 hours yavo kwati ni mushopulite tulatushitirapo filatufutika so mukayina amabopeni yenu bonse utemelo ba mundu bilaka FPL mpino kuyabika X bonse ulefu aba mundu bile akayimukubika X bali ba mundu bile pelampi mwebali kumuntu bonse mubakwata ama WhatsApp mubakwata ama Facebook mule umfwa ni pelampi panyadi mamayo mwebali kumuchi patata ni panyadi eba kubita nama ya mupyenu aya baba mundu bile mukaye yavuta bamwamba ifingine shikwateka kulanda file tika mchalo cha Zambia na Afrika nkamika ichakuba tifile letelo umwenso file letela tetuwishi befo inga filondolola lesomu ineka ewa turuile ewala meba brand mapindo yakwe bonse tube pa makufi ala tube pa makufi lesatapa abechwa filwa ngamwalilo okufuma panshi ya mutima wenu lesala omfwa lesala luila ala pangenshila pashaba balapene balela ndati shani epo basa mukukapa fifi lyabalanda ti mukukapa emo bashili munafyakitika fi.
Thank you, Mario. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Good evening, Honorable Mwamba. This is Mpazi Siame, a regular listener to your program, calling from the United Kingdom.
Thank you, Mpazi. Make your contribution.
I wanted to say amen to the previous caller who has urged us to look to God, in the desperate moments that we're in. But my own contribution really looks to just look at the remaining 2 days that encourage our people. What we've got at stake is our freedoms, is our democracy. And I think this is the moment that people have to stand up. And our president has now no desire to save the Zambian people, but to save his own interests. And is fighting a battle to protect his own interests and the evil elements of what he has done to our nation. So I think over the next 2 days that we are left with, Bamwamba, please, let's call upon every Zambian to stand firm, to look to protect our vote. No matter what threats come our way, our only chance through this is to stand firm and protect our democracy. I know the events of what has happened in terms of, the contributed money from poor Zambians who are looking to save our democracy and what the DEC and everybody else in authority have done. It shouldn't limit our efforts. And please, Bamwamba, as we go, even over the next few days, let's look at raising money, as much money as we can, to see what we can do to support our colleagues who are on the front end and willing to stand firm and count our votes and protect our votes. I think that rally for whatever financial aid we can still continue to contribute. Please, let's urge people, let's talk about that conversation and urge people to come forward. It is our lives, it is our democracy, it is the path that we've chosen. We never wanted this area of darkness to befall our country and lose our status. As a peaceful, loving nation, we need to protect that with everything that we have.
Thank you, Basiame.
For everything that you've done and you continue to do. We really, really appreciate your efforts.
Thank you. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Thank you. Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba.
Good evening, Mwabombeni.
I'm calling Mwabombeni once. I come for Kumlabaso Kunchen session liko. I'm quite fifula Zambia. Champa shapo chikulupo sana. Chaptila ba president akainde bali mu opposition. Kwena tupendeni aka 2002 bambire. Maybe 20 or 22 years. Apabaisa take it 2021. Pusha inyaka yonse idabaile ikala. Every 5 years ngabai minina. Wale kwata ma donations ukufuma wherever. Pantu twali mfana mu Zambia kwali abati donating in 2016 and 15 ama Zambian businessmen abali bakonka. Busha kwena ama buteko yonse baluile nayo. MMD na PF. And about 4 presidents there. Ninani or 4 presidents. Ninani wabale seshepo ukukwata donation from anywhere. Aya chitana confiscating pia shawo. Bali kwete miotoka, bali kwete ama Honda, bali kwete ama Jinga. Findu ba kwete ama kampenya. Nendike bali nina ama helicopter area everywhere. Na airspace bali bapela. By all those other 4 presidents that they contested with. Basata, Barupia Banda. Bonza abo bali bapela nchende. Democracy bali rwishanya kineo president inginebo ni party and ama donations yabo yaisaba kainde muchalo takuli wale batapati mukonkenyo ba deki no ichichene chirubo chabi chakulisha mwebena Zambia ama voters lolekesheni pa muntu wa msango uyu waite mu msango uyu wa mutitikisha wa msango uyu mwamfashwili kalambali alanda ba tata bakatereka lumba ati naliko chitira chintu chisuma na iwo wanga fwako nomba waisa wapilibuka mkwe batishani bena bakainde nifuna tutira muchibemba which is a character fina pabengi abantu bitu abapendera abo bachitafita fina umuntu abomba nabo ngabaisa mposa kunse abachi bena nyuli omuntu wefe bakubati ngabaumya ngatakuli msunga kuti baufuna bauposa nokuposa but awe uyate muntu ufire okula mitungula litungula nabana benu ero mwe bantu bakwazisa mwe bena Zambia mwe bayikale emyaka n'emyaka mule Zambia mule tubabana ku school mule ufye mule kwatenchi mule kwatana businesses mwe voter after 5 years ushenika take cash under his reign mwa mwenya ati pakuteka kwakwe abantu balefa so mysteriously and just unexplainedly tapalifo wingalondola pakutumishibe mfo ya uyu muntu akapokola tabasabe katapona ngubamu uyu muntu bayefo prepare independent candidate vaya ipaila mo driver wakwe ilo bengila mkuipa yaba bala bena babashiwa ti ulawinefe kashu muntu naselapo ukobepe yo muntu wabe umusungu uyu finle mwe bantu bakwalisa
so Danis
I'm quite sorry not bafinde you will not die but live long together good mwana wabasa Danis bala abantu bali kula musaka balisho bwino kwali each time bali ita donate ku Salvation Army Church kumo abana banshiwa okuya ku school nishaminuka fero yale tampa vile chanda ba mu mbipiri Sadanis bala bali ita sponsor tuma school tumo private abana babantu bali amukusambirira namba bobeni bamwipe ekikalamba bamwipaire pokena only God will answer them back bantu abantu kulafwa fifi ne chipi dive apomwashi mukanafwa ngachimbicha isu wida chisungu abduction yangu mwelesa takwaba imomolena Zambia ni ma abductions mwamuna ba chitefi eyo bakanine ni potetumika lemule ba abducted just tawishi bomu meo benga alefika tawishi bomu na obenga alefika tawishi ne banga alefika bayama kujya bekana bamama kujya na bashikuru pantu bali mama politics tamwaishi benga mailo bakashuka mwabo pantu bakesa bapangwira ingande ya kuwange fubalondorwele yaba Sadanis bai ni bali kula wino ama windows ya panshi glass koso bafika bafipankaula mwa ulako naka so because bad ne bantu batuma mnjelele ko mwebena Zambia bapina feno upina bantu fumwe fintunga fya wami shine kuti nafiro ukuyachona ula nangu techandi kuchirosha fiso nachiwama kuti natilimuka bafika bafita bamwingirira omuntu mu bedroom mpaka bamwipaya ukuyipaya fe easily kwa block shupikwa elo abo bali balumbula batakuli umfuika ubo bali ikata ngamwa wekela kuli ulomu wendo wa fido wa UPND kwa kaputa. Personally, I would even think then if you are to rape you then we shall make a bad story against the other party. Pamla nduwa kuipa yo kukuine mwebena Zambia imwe kabafunye nyaba kabafunye nishi kushibirishi na londolo laba kukulanda na bambi bonse apape nefe chinje ni pili bukeni nga mchili mulepembelea abantu abo babomba nabo bala baposa pasi mwebena Zambia nga mwamupela second chance uyu muntu akamifiri wako miposela pasi pantu already has made you poorer He has made you poor pantu utu business to apanshi yali ati na kwa light fe mulungu fe ambire okuteka mu 2021 ama light chaya fya apano balesa mukumi bwese chafuti kashi tishi mushirukila imwe umuntu amisenda 5 years ukwa bulama light 5 years mrefi fila fye elo lero esa wera tinkampela light imisebo talanda apo 5 years alanda pali ba opposition apo 5 years aleipa ya utuma other political parties akalesa se mkati nika opposition atina akaka opposition katampe banukula akaka opposition batampe bafwanta alifo ashaleka imwe wonse mwenkulo yichinchile ko mwalishi batu alipisire ko muri one party state na bakaunda napo baemwe mbi bashirema ilesa wabemishe. And that's why I cry so much against even Vanivas Mumba to have said MMD twice hata idiko tualeta kwa chimbi. No, those parties have got good memories for us. Kutina abaire kaile ya weza MP in parliament or not, ile more opposition ile landa. We can point our children at mwenye kama politics yesu ya fumile. A party alitriche chisumalelo ya jichitrefi yawa. Children learn baisho bale entaji.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello, Mr. Mamba.
Good day, my dear sister. Make your contribution.
Yes, you're speaking to Angel from Lusaka. I'm just here to say that light has come and God has heard our prayers. We have signs here in Lusaka, in Loka. So let us just keep the faith. Otherwise, God has heard us and the light has come.
The rain, it is raining in Lusaka.
Our freedom. Yes, it's raining in Lusaka, Mr.
Moment wakwalesa. Kwa duefia kusefia hili. Imwe, ile loka Lusaka tamunjebe. Nishmwa bede fino mufuro mwe bantu wakwalesa. Imwe, ile loka mfurano njebako. Thank you, my dear sister. Thank you, my dear sister. You know, when did it ever rain in August? When did it ever rain in August? Wow, wow.
These are the things.
Yeah, peace shall prevail. Peace shall prevail on our land. Amen. Thank you very much for that, my dear sister. Thank you very much. Sometimes mwaleta kwa good news, not to you know, sometimes you bring good news. Thank you, my dear sister. It's raining in Lusaka. What a good news. Mwana kwa mfreilo kama August. August mwafio lukungu. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make a contribution. And tell me if it's raining where you are. We can celebrate.
I wish it was raining. We had a bit of a heat wave, but here where we are, they say it can rain any day.
Oh, Robam from the United Kingdom. Robam, it's raining in Lusaka. It's rain. What more divine intervention do you want? What more divine? You know, like to give our people hope that no one to qualify. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Yeah, I know.
God is in charge. Make your contribution, Robam.
Signs of the times are everywhere.
Yes.
You know, Ambassador, there are things that happen in this world, and I've listened to Kalumba's
Bakatele Kalumba.
Dr. Katele Kalumba's interview. Sorry, not his interview, but what he was saying.
His monologue.
Yes, and it's quite telling, and it reminded me of. Sometimes I think we forget some of these people how clever they are, because even at this age he was very eloquent. Even how he was explaining things, and I would advise every Zambian to watch that, and for those that are undecided. If at all they are undecided, they need to watch that, because I think what has happened here, Ramamba, was when we started on your program, we said Zambia need a second independence. And little did we know, I think we actually did underestimate it, because I think what we are doing here,
Robam, when we started on this program, there were just a very few of us. Every guest I brought, every opposition I brought, you called. the country need to know that it's you started saying independence 2.0, independence 2.0. It's nobody else. It's now a fiery message across the country. But you, Robert, I need to acknowledge you here. I heard it from you the first time. So congratulations. You need to be recorded as the one that said this is election is just, that was last year. You said it's not just an ordinary election. It's election and independence 2.0. And you began to make posters to that effect.
Yes.
Yeah, no, make a contribution.
Honestly, because I think some of these things is people like you, you've guided us in terms of where you have, you know, the way you break down history of where the country has come from. And we learn from it and we see exactly that our country has never been in this kind of a situation. And when you hear Pakatele Kalumba even explaining the way I was explaining, and most of the people calling on this show, you could actually say that as we fight for this second independence, we're actually fighting for the soul and the values of our country. And I know it's going to be very difficult. It's not going to be easy. But all I can just, I know I'm not in Zambia, and people would say that I should have been there fighting. You cannot be talking about independence, you're outside. But we will do whatever we can on our side within the power that God has blessed us. But the people in Zambia now, they have to do it because Munduvile and Makebi, they have done their part. You know, they have done their part traveling around the country, delivering the message. But this last leg requires everyone that wants their country back to make sure that they vote first and they protect that vote. Because we can contribute as much money as we can. And you see what they've done. They've taken all the money that we contributed. So now this one will require each and every one of us to be there. Those of you that can be there, and make sure when you're even food there, eat the food from someone that you know, or take food from your house. Not even especially for those that are counting. You know, because you end up sleeping there and then you only wake up and have a push up pen. You know, so just make sure that if you don't trust people, tell someone from your house to prepare something for you and only eat the food from the people that you trust. Not just eating anything at all. There are snacks here. Because this election, you could see the pressure from whatever is happening. If at all this man, when he started saying Kwenyu, 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 why is he panicking? If everything was done perfectly, he should not be doing any campaigns. He should have just sat down drinking water and say that I've already done a good job for the Zambians. But our country is very bad, and we've got a lot of work to bring it together. And it's not going to be done by Munduvile or Makebi alone, but we the Zambians need to demand it, and we need to put our willingness to make sure that we bring our country together. Because I will just say something. When our president was in Northwestern, when he was referring to the people of the Copper Belt, that the people of the Copper Belt will come here and get your wives, you know, and I was like, wow. I live in Europe, and I have never heard anyone that is so right-wing and so divisive like Ainde. The man has a very divisive message. To be labeling the people of the Copper Belt as if they're foreigners, like as if Northwestern is not their country. You know, time has come, and I think we've spoken enough, and we still have to, because there are probably other people that can change their mind at the last minute. But the dream is still on. And all we just have to do now is because what we are dealing with, Amamba, it's not a battle that can only be won, but with intervention from God. And then that independence 2.0 will come, and then we'll be free. Because and the other thing I just wanted to mention here is, you know, Amamba, how much respect and care I have for you. And I was thinking, with whatever is happening in a situation, I was thinking like, wow, if Mamamba was still in Zambia, what would have this guy done? You know, so God is so good, and he does things the way that sometimes we do not understand. But there was a reason why he probably allowed it to be this way for you to be where you are. Otherwise, without this platform,
people are talking about abduction. I was the first victim of the abductions.
That's what I'm trying to
Every
say.
time I cried about my abduction, people thought it would never come. Now see how widespread it is now. Thank you, Robert, thank you so much. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from, and make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening, my dear. Make your contribution. Tell us your
Brian
name.
Matambo, Media Director.
Oh, okay,
of the Tonse Famosi Alliance.
You should have just asked me. I send you a link. We see you.
No, I'll join in tomorrow, sir, and we can spend some time in the evening and
Yes.
have a great conversation.
Yeah, let's have a special election broadcast. And
Yes, sir.
is it raining where you are? Whether you are in hiding or you are home, is it raining?
Where I am, I'm in hiding, sir.
Yeah, but at least you can afford to check outside if it's raining, because we've got great news that it's raining in Lusaka.
Yeah.
No, Bran, proceed
So
to
we
make your
are- so-
contribution.
No, I just wanted to maybe just make a couple of comments.
Yeah.
First, on a lighter note, I was listening to Robert
Yeah.
from Manchester speaking,
Mm.
and I remember very well when he started with the Independence
2.0. Yes.
and it has grown and it has become
The national anthem, literally. Mm.
Yes, and it is true, and it's been great to, I remember one time when Mansa and President Mundibile makes reference to independence, to the second independence,
Mm.
and I had flashbacks, and I'm literally remembering how those conversations started
Mm.
way back, somewhat
Yes,
after
yes.
August, actually a year ago.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, sorry, about a year ago, these conversations started, and Robert had made songs and posters and stuff like that, and he has been very, very consistent with that message. I remember towards the end of the year, we're sharing that idea with President Makebi Zulu, and he loved it and he made reference to it, and it has grown. And indeed, this is our second independence, because when you make, when you just observe how we have lived in the last 4 or 5 years, you realize it is time for us to get not just the economic independence that Zambia has been pushing for so many decades, but also just even the political independence, because what we are experiencing now has never been seen by this generation, never been seen before. We have a president, I think someone says it's as if he's an alien. He behaves as if maybe it's from a different country and he doesn't care about the people of Zambia. Ambassador, you know these things because your information, I get a lot of information from you. But I wish to remind even the people are listening to us tonight. If you remember very well, because sometimes as Zambians we forget, if you remember very well, it is just a few months ago, when we were having 21 hours of load shedding, we would be given 3 hours of electricity in the city of Zaka. Come on. I think the people remember. Some of us, we now have a lot of Type-C cables and the watt cables and power banks and 4 power banks and whatnot. Right now, if I showed you that was in front of me is a 1,000 watt power station, 300 watt power station, 600. That's how we have turned out to be. Life has changed in the last few years because of the greediness of a president who is able to comfortably export electricity to countries like Namibia and Botswana and Congo and so on and so forth, and deny his own people that electricity. And we ended up with an economy that was crippled, and he has failed to acknowledge. He has failed to acknowledge. We saw barber shops and butcheries and salons and welding businesses and all kinds of businesses, shops, supermarkets, failing to run business because there was no electricity. I remember going into a shop one day and tried to get a drink from the fridge. It was hot. The drink in the fridge was hot because the fridges were not functional. There was no electricity. That was the reality. Shops couldn't even sell. Restaurants couldn't sell. So we have not forgotten, and I hope the people of Zambia have not forgotten. You know, I was telling somebody earlier today that in 2021 you could go with a 1,000 kwacha into Pick and Pay and fill out your trolley. Literally. Minimum was 100 kwacha. Sugar was 45 kwacha. A kilo of beef was 70 kwacha. You could buy things and fill up a trolley. Today, a kilo of beef is almost 200 kwacha. Chicken is over 160 kwacha. Sugar is 85 kwacha. Minimum is 350 kwacha. Everything has gone up 3x. And when you buy those things in Pick and Pay or ShopRite, you go outside, you want to put fuel in your car. Fuel back then was 17 kwacha. The dollar was at 18 kwacha, 19 kwacha. Today, fuel is at 25 kwacha. The dollar is at 19 kwacha. People need to do their calculations and see who has done better. And remember, the fuel may be at 25 kwacha now, but there was a point it went all the way to 35 kwacha, almost over twice the price it was when the Patriotic Front was leading government. These people are good at lying. And unfortunately, the problem with lies is that when someone tells a lie so many times and you listen to it too many times, you might begin to think it's true. It was a UPND political party who would kill their own members. They would kill people and then they would blame it on PF. I remember very well, a stray bullet comes from a police officer. They blamed it on the president. There was a confusion at once and someone died. They blamed it on the PF. A gentleman was shot, and around the Home Affairs, offices there. They blamed it at Edgar Chagwalungu. Insincere people, but Zambians don't forget. Today, what is happening? We have seen how they are abducting everybody. Anyone who just says anything that they may not agree with, they abduct. We are now looking at the story about Sudanis now. We are looking at so many instances, so many people. In Luampa last week, Ambassador, you remember, and we spoke on EMV. A police officer was hacked by UPND cadres. In Mwembeshi, an independent member of parliament candidate campaigning, and he had general candidate to perform to do some entertainment. UPND cadres came and hacked him and almost opened his brain. These are the NGOs they were saying, the NGOs that have come to replace the PF. Sir, where? I've always asked people, I was a staunch PF before HH stole the PF. Very staunch. Apparently no one could move me around my beliefs, around Michael Satter's philosophies and politics. No one could move me. PF through and through. But I ask people, or if there's anyone out there who can come and tell me that I went to them and slapped them in the name of PF or whatever, or in anyone's name, come up and tell me. Come up and tell me that PF Tuma. And tell me where I slapped you. The only political party with a symbol of a slap is UPND. That is the violent party. That's the party that's killing people. How many people have they abducted in the last few days? Maybe people have forgotten. That's the same party that abducted the 12 girls. Those girls were abducted in Kawata South. And they were kept at a house that belongs to an official of the UPND. They are the ones who do abductions in this country. JJ Banda, Honorable JJ Banda, who's now in hiding, was abducted. And he named the people who abducted him. That information is in public domain. This culture of abductions, Ambassador Mwamba, has been the mainstay for the UPND. That's what they do. That is what they eat every day. Now we are hearing of audios where someone is speaking with a very familiar voice, asking people to delete CCTV footage. probably involved in the murder of Satanis. These are the people. Yesterday, my good friend Emmanuel Nkoma from Durban, and he was just on our podcast a few days ago and was speaking very, very strongly about things. He has been abducted. 3 members of my team ambassador have been locked up by the police. Runika, who I asked to come from the Copper Belt and help us with media in Lusaka, and he came through, and he has been traveling with the president across the country. He was abducted. He was arrested in Mongo for holding a phone. So he doesn't. These days he doesn't even talk. He just holds the phone and shows the country where Mondovile is. It has now become a crime in this country to blog. It has become a crime in this country to vlog. Uncle Zubi arrested, no reason, and they say conduct likely to cause a breach of peace. So Zubi's gift of holding a phone so people can see, that's conduct likely to cause a breach of peace. In Hannah India's dictionary, we Hannah Israel Katontoka, young lady, all she does is she just holds a phone and follows Brian Mondwile around. How has that become a crime? IDC in this country, Ambassador Mamba, is it now a crime to be a comedian? Or is it a crime to talk like Edgar Chakwalungu? Because IDC is a comedian. He imitates Edgar Chakwalungu, that is all it does. Is it now a crime? Arrested. Chester, is it now a crime to make hit songs? Is making a hit song, conduct likely to create a breach of peace? I think that is conduct likely to create excitement, not a breach of peace. Felix, same thing. And so many other people arrested for no reason. So many security guys. And these are decent people who are just trying to exercise their democratic right. And some of them, they're just bloggers and journalists and media people arrested. Yesterday, we were fearing for ourselves. We believed that they were after us. We had to go in hiding, Ambassador. Right now, it's difficult to even actually find me or call me directly on my phone. I'm unlikely to answer if it's even on at all. Because we are fearing for our movements a day before the elections. And I want to refer to the speech that President Brian Mondovile made this morning and call out on the international community, the UN and the embassies and all these people. It's either they are hypocrites or there's something wrong in the way that we do things in this world. Because you cannot see things going wrong and you are quiet. Do you want Zambia to degenerate into an anarchy for you to ever speak out? This is the time to speak so that we prevent things from going worse. The signs are clear. We need to speak now. We have seen what is happening, particularly arrests. If the international community has to be respected by any Zambian going forward, this is the time they must show their friendship to not the politicians, to the Zambian people, and be able to say, no, that we don't agree with. That we don't agree with. Where are you, international community? Don't be hypocrites and come to this country and look like you're diplomats only when you want to get some minerals. No, Zambia is faced with a challenge that's real. And this is in public domain. We can see it. The newspapers are reporting it. Social media is clear with it. You can see it with your eyes. People in the vote protection unit in the NRPU, they are being picked up. Emmanuel Nkoma is in that unit. Kennedy Kamba is in that unit. Dr. Sebastian Kopolande is in that unit. Mwakalombe is the chairman of elections. They are targeting these people. Honorable Sanga is the one who went to Dubai to look to monitor the printing of the ballots. They are targeting anybody who's involved in vote protection. Come on, are you telling me that the people in the international community, they need maybe use AI to interpret for you, because you should be able to see this is plain. Why are you quiet? US Embassy, British Embassy, and all these, why are you quiet? Are you our friends? For us, not for the politicians.
then I want to call out the evangelicals. I know that the Catholics have been very clear condemning violence and so on and so forth. Where are the evangelicals? Where is my father, my spiritual father, Joshua H.K. Banda? Where is he? The silence is happening. This is not a time to be afraid of Hakainde Hichilema. Speak against violence. You don't need to insult him. I don't insult Hakainde Hichilema. Against the violence. We are sick bankers. Can we have a voice against the banker? Where is this bread of life man? Is he being tribal because he's lost, he can't speak against the Tonga? No! He's a man of God, he must speak. But what did we see? Basically endorsing him and praying over him as though everything is okay. Then we saw a statement from the Evangelical Fellowship of Zambia, lackluster. And I just keep describing it like that. It was empty, it was without force, it was as if it was coming from Sunday school. Are we really men of God, ladies and gentlemen? When you see women being arrested like that, Martha Lungu being chased by the police until she hit the pole, you are silent and you trickle over this issue like it's one of those issues. But I'm in the evangelical. I'm disappointed. I would have expected the church to speak clearly about these issues. We cannot allow this. If you have to make reference to civil society, where are they? After my elections, if you can't speak now, after this matter, be silent perpetually. Close your organization. By NGOs, very quick. 2 women have been arrested for no reason. Where are you? Are you also hypocrites? Judge yourselves. You have a matter before you. Judge yourselves. Why are you not talking about Hannah? Why are you not talking about Martha? Why are you quiet when women are being picked up in that manner for no reason other than supporting somebody who's not a church? Where's Laz? Where are all these civil societies? This silence. Are these the effects of Satanism over this organization? We expect voices to rise now because we can see. But look at Bino gets upset about something, he comes out and speaks. Maybe he may not have used the language that pleased Hakainde Hichilema, the UPND and ECZ, but he had an opinion to make. And when he made that opinion, look, have you seen how quickly ECZ has reacted? Have you seen how quickly ECZ has reacted? Oh, we are revoking your access to the total center and the blah, 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 blah. Very fast. I wish they acted with the same speed when they realized that Mwangala's Robert was UPND and should be head in ECZ. They should have reacted. They should have reacted with the same speed and said, no, you can't be here. This is conflict of interest. Ambassador Tinanda, but in Indanda.
Endita. Be on standby tomorrow as we begin election analysis. I'll send you the link. Continue to be safe. We are praying for you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Brian M. Matambo, Media Director for the Tonse Pamozi Alliance. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to leave and rest. We've got the morning show for your breakfast show. If you have to allow us to come and do the morning show, you have to allow us to end the program. God bless you. We'll speak to you tomorrow.